you know, you had one TV station at that time before CVM came on the scene, and people look forward to it. There was a much more patriotic understanding of what it meant to be Jamaican, and to see these three young women and one young man hosting a young program was important, and it was important to people to see it. And that is now when people say, boy, that little girl, I could enter Miss Jamaica, you know. Right. So I would hear it all the time. And I remember, and you know more than anybody else, Alan, if you don't know, I'm the biggest tomboy. If you want a mango to a tree, I'm going to climb it. If you're going to scale a fence, it's me going over it first. And still today, I'm like that.
I hope you don't scale the fences.
I still scale a fence. So when Paula was the one who was very svelte and very, when, no, Paula was very prissy.
It's true.
Paula was the one who sat with her legs crossed. I wasn't. And my mother tried. To this day, she's still trying. Paula was the one. I was very afraid to enter because, one, I didn't want to put on a swimsuit in front of people, and I just didn't feel that I could carry it. Why I did it, I had just finished sixth form. It was something to do in summer. I wanted to get people to stop asking me to do it. And because of rapping, I wanted to meet other people and meet other young people. And it was a good way to learn about your country and travel. And
Whet your appetite.
Yes, and also I had done so much in school. I was head girl, I was World Hunger Project, I was all kinds of something. And I said, well, let me conquer this fear and let me see. But the concept of a quote-unquote beauty contest, I mean, I was looking at pictures of myself and I didn't even know how to tweeze my eyebrows. I didn't even know that you should do things like that. When I got to Miss World, I'll never forget it. I landed with Miss Puerto Rico and Miss Colombia. And when you saw these girls walk out of the airport with their 7 suitcases and a trunk, and I just had my little 2-bag, big suitcase. My nails are still not even done. I remember running into Boots, which was in the airport, and buying some hard nail? And we're all traveling in the same taxi pod, and somebody goes, do you smell nail polish? And we're, no, I don't smell any nail polish, what are you talking about? So I think, looking back on it, I really think it was a lot more about the things that I did and my personality rather. Certainly, it wasn't, for me, it was never about the beauty.
What was the hardest part of that competition, if you can remember?
Well, first of all, photographers and the press, they single out the girls that they believe are going to win, and they focus on them. And so a lot of the Caribbean girls would get very disheartened. And a lot of time was spent saying, look man, don't be disheartened, don't be demotivated. But Miss World back then, I think, was a lot easier than Miss World now. I think Miss World now is a lot harder because they're trying so hard to incorporate everybody to be a part of this process for the vote that it's actually become quite boring to watch the pageant. And I met with the current Miss Jamaica who, when she said she was 18, I go, oh my God, you could be my daughter. I said, this is like an age reality check. And I said to her, and as I've said to other Miss Jamaicas, no, it's so much harder. And it's not as, I don't think it's as glamorous because it becomes an infomercial for the country that it's being held in. And I think somebody has to reach out to the Miss World organizers and say, look man, let's get back to a point where it becomes a TV event, the girls have equal chances, because I don't think they do. I don't think with the voting process, as it is now, you would have an equal chance.
You mentioned, you said, she could be your daughter, but you have a son.
I do.
Tell us about
he's great. Mommy is, if you look at my Instagram, it's mother that comes first. It's the M&M principle. It's mother, member of parliament, minister of government, made in Jamaica type of thing. But Alex is now 12. We're up in the mornings. He off to school. My best times are probably between 6 and 6:30 in the morning, and when he gets home from school in the evenings. And regular preteen, we have these great conversations, and he's finding his sea legs as a young man, which is nice. And What I love about him is he's honest, he tells the truth, and it must be very difficult for him having the kind of mother and father that he has. But I'm in the public's eye, and he's managing it with such grace. And it's interesting to say to him, he watches me, and a lot of that helps him in his own reality and space of not feeling he has to answer people about everything, not getting too angry about things, things like that. So,
As the minister that you are, youth is a portfolio. You are mother to pretty much everybody else is speaking. What scares you about that role?
well, that persons think I really am literally their mothers to every child. I will go out sometimes, and I love it. Mothers will leave their children and say, just go stay with the minister, going to the bathroom and coming back. So that sometimes scares you because you are literally taken as a mother for the nation's children and young people. What it puts on you is an awesome responsibility to make sure that you're putting in place the right policies. Obviously, you can't directly help everyone. And I think the most important message I can get across is that we're all in it together and we need the force of togetherness. We've managed to do some phenomenal programs this year and trained over close to 9,000 young people, starting tertiary projects to place university students who can't get jobs. Today, for instance, we're launching our mobile therapeutic clinic, which will allow young people who need counseling with a psychiatrist, a psychologist, to go to our children's homes and other places of safety to do clinical assessments and to also help where we can parents or others who feel that they need counseling with their children, and that is going to be a funded initiative by UNICEF and the EU. We removed all children and young adults from adults, correctional institutions, and so there are a number of marks that we have hit. I think, unfortunately, youth and culture, certainly youth and children, is an area, because it's, I say it all the time, it's not concrete and steel. You persons don't highlight it as regular, and the minute something goes wrong, that is what is highlighted rather than the strides. We have young people in state care who are getting 11 distinctions, and we implemented last year an appreciation and a recognition lunch. This year you had Josiah Wilson, Dr. Josiah Wilson, who grew up in a children's home and got a scholarship to Cuba, and just to hear his story. So we do have success stories, and I think it's important for us as a country, when we say reset the thing, to have the courage to do things differently. Let us try and highlight the positives and talk to us. There are some amazing things that we're doing in the ministry. Even the Pond Corner reasonings now, which we've started to take the programs to the street rather than waiting on our young people to come to us, because young people want to have the information instantaneously and fast. They're not going to go in search of it. Many of them are not going to go in search of it per se. So we have to. We're helping them to get it anyway.
You've achieved a lot so far. What else you want? You've got about 60 seconds.
Sleep.
That's good. That's in there. And
Sleep.
I don't even just mean, in the portfolio and in the work. For you, Lisa, how?
I think I found a good rhythm in my life, and I think right now it really is about having the peace of mind and remaining comfortable in my skin. And whatever happens, I think I've done a lot, and if I was to go today, I would be thankful for the life I've lived.
Yay. Well, we are thankful for what you've done, including